Good evening. Thank you for joining Ageless Ambitions. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, my name is Rita Robinson. And this podcast is about a special group of people. The people I'm talking about are people over the age of 65. Some of you call them elderly. Some of you call them senior citizens. Some of you even call them old people. But I call them people who are living their very best life and staying relevant. Tonight, we have one of those people joining us who's going to share with you. And prayerfully, they will motivate, light a fire under you so that you'll go out and do some motivating things as well. This person has been my friend for a very long time. In fact, today we were talking earlier about how long we have been friends. And it's nothing like true friendship. This person is exciting, doing some awesome things, and I'm going to let her tell you all about those things that she's doing. So, joining us is Miss Cassandra Small. Cassandra,
Hi,
so
Rita.
good to have you here. Thank you for joining Ageless Ambitions.
Well, I'm honored to be here, Rita.
Well, I'm glad that you accepted. And from what I understand, knowing you the past years that I've known you, I know you worked for Southwest Airlines. You retired from there.
I did.
And you are a singer and just doing all kind of amazing things. Tell the people a little bit about what you do. What I'm more interested in is the acting.
Okay.
Okay, so give the audience a little bit about your background and what you're doing.
My background basically is a mother of a lot of kids.
Yes, let us know about that.
And active in the community through their schools and various community organizations. As a little child, I always dreamed of being a performer and on stage. And of course, fast forward in life, there were children, there was a husband, there was work, there were bills to be paid.
Yes.
And this is pretty much everybody's story, I'm sure. But at the ripe old age of 35, I guess. Yeah, 35, I discovered theater.
Okay.
I discovered theater quite by accident, the same way that I discovered radio announcing and pretty much everything else that I've fallen into. But working for Southwest Airlines was a job that gave me the flexibility so that I could have my work hours in for the appropriate amount of money and still squeeze out some time to learn a script and do a show. And after my first show in 1987, I did Godspell, and that's it. I was smitten.
Hooked. You were hooked.
Right.
Okay. You found your love and your passion.
Absolutely. And so for the last, that's now 37 years, I guess, I have been performing locally in San Antonio Theater. I've done summer stock in Florida for 2 summers as well. I'm very, very privileged to say that I'm a part of the music performance group, the Divas of Eastwood.
Okay.
And so between theater and singing, I managed to get out in the community and live my best life.
Live your best life, your passion. That's awesome. And kind of because I talked about a specific group of people, what age are we talking about where you fall?
I am 72, soon to be 73 in June, and I did not start performing until I was 35.
Okay.
So I didn't have any prior background. I didn't finish college with a degree in performing arts or any of those things.
Okay.
I just had the raw desire. And thanks to the work ethic that my parents taught me, I paid attention. I listened to the right people. I just worked hard.
Yeah.
And was able to get better and better at my craft. I've been fortunate to get a couple awards along the way.
Yes,
but
I've seen those awards.
But more than that, I feel very, very privileged in that, first of all, my involvement in the theater has caused many people in the community who've never been to live theater before to come and see a show.
Yeah.
And so we're expanding that audience. And by virtue of my age, it has also encouraged a lot more mature people to
I can see that.
Find a group, start acting, do skits. Even if you can't act on stage, local theaters can always use volunteers to come and help with costumes or work lights or be ushers. There's so many useful and pleasant things you can do in that environment.
Well, I have seen you in commercials. In fact, I remember it was so funny. I saw you in this commercial, and I think it was a commercial about health, and they were talking about cancer.
Yes.
And I remember in that commercial that when you did your part, even the husband that was acting with you at the time, he was looking at you like, oh my God, she is so real, so good. And I remember tears coming to my eyes.
Well, there were tears in my eyes as well, but we got an award for that commercial. We got an Addie Award for that commercial. Actually, it was for Methodist Hospital Cancer Center.
Yes, I remember that. Also, I saw the movie that you were in with Sandra Bullock.
Oh yeah, Miss Congeniality.
Yes, Miss Congeniality. If any of you have seen the movie, she was the policeman.
I told her, you can't park that car.
That's
here.
Right. That Sandra Bullock just walked by,
flashed her badge, and I was like, okay, well, whatever.
That was so good. I've seen you in other movies, but I've seen you in a lot of theater.
Yes,
a lot of theater. When I hear that you're in a theater, that you're going to be performing, I try to be there because I know it's going to be enjoyable.
Well, thank you.
I know,
and I really appreciate the support. The thing that I think it's most remarkable about this age and stage in life, we're our own bosses for sure now. There are no kids at home.
That's right.
We don't have any of the pressures that we had before. Yes, some other things have changed, but we are in a situation where, you know, the world is our oyster. We can pretty much pick and choose and do whatever we would like to do. And I was having a conversation with a senior who was saying, I'm just watching TV. I'm bored. Well, you have a patio. Why don't you try planting some plants? Or if you don't like gardening, invite some friends over. You can sit on the patio and play cards or dominoes or start a book club.
Exactly.
So many options, so many things that you can do.
One of the things I would like to know, I want to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
And that is, what strengths that you feel that you've put out there for your children by doing the things that you're doing?
Well, one of my children told me exactly what one of those strengths was. And she said that when she left home to go to college, she felt very empowered and courageous. She didn't feel like there was anything she couldn't do because she had watched me and her dad attempt and conquer so many things while we were raising our family. And I think she probably speaks for a couple of her other siblings as well.
Yeah.
But that was very important for us to have them know who we were as people, not just as mom and dad, but the whole person that we were, and that we had struggles, that we had shortcomings. And even in some cases, we'd have a family meeting to talk about what we might need to do to solve a problem that the family was confronted with. And I think that that gave them a sense that we had respect for their opinions. Mm-hmm. We gave them an opportunity to express their own voices in an appropriate and respectful way.
Oh, yeah.
And that life is about finding solutions.
If you could have done this sooner, would you have done it sooner, or is this one of the best times for you?
I think all of this happened at the absolute perfect time.
That's awesome.
Because if I had gotten it when I was younger, it probably would have been easier to access, and I might have taken it for granted on some level. maybe not applied myself as vigorously as I did when I got in, but my time was so limited. I had to cram everything that I could get in the small amount of time that I could steal from the rest of my life responsibilities. So this was kind of a go for broke move for me. It was all or nothing, pretty much.
How do you describe the season of life that you're in right now?
Oh, I'm having my my first teenage experience. And that's because as a teenager, I was so serious minded and involved in civil rights and politics and all of those things. So when a lot of the other young people in the community were going to parties and doing those things, I did a little bit of that, but it was more of the serious stuff and spending a lot of time with people that were much older than me.
Okay.
So, now that there are no children at home, we're both retired. We are absolutely living our best life. We do whatever, whenever, with whomever, for as long as we want to, and nobody can tell us no.
What would you tell the younger you?
Oh, wow.
What would you tell the younger you from what you're doing now, from the raising of the children to where you are now, living your absolute best life, having a blast? What would you tell the younger you?
I would tell the younger me, keep going. You're on the right track.
Okay.
It's difficult right now, but it's going to pay off big.
Okay.
So hang in there.
That's awesome.
Hang in there.
That is awesome. What is the one message you are most passionate about sharing with people?
The one message, I think it probably is kind of my life mantra, and that is seek understanding.
Okay.
Let's not jump to judgment. To have more of a desire to understand other people.
Yes, that's
because
good.
when
Good
we
stuff.
Understand another person, we are more accepting and tolerant of whatever their behavior or opinions may be.
That's true.
So much of the conflict that we confront in life has everything to do with requiring that life be the way we want it to be, instead of being able to surrender and kind of flow and accept life how it is and be grateful for that.
Yes, that's good stuff. Who inspires you and why?
Ooh, wow. Who inspires me and why? I probably have 2 or 3 inspirations, but at this particular time in my life, probably my husband is my greatest inspiration.
And I know Doug, he's an amazing, amazing man. There have been times when I called to talk to Cassandra, Doug answers the phone and I'd end up talking to Doug an hour before I even get to you. Because Doug is an amazing man. You are a blessed woman. I definitely can say that.
He is incredible. And I call him my Renaissance man because we've been married now 50 years.
50 years?
Yes. And wow.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That in and of itself is a lot.
Yes.
But to know that the playing field was not level for everyone. So what I was given in terms of a family experience and what he had in terms of a family experience were not on the same par.
Okay.
And so for us to be able to come together and create a family and come up with an operating system that would work for us, sometimes not so good, but now really well.
Yeah.
I'm inspired by the fact that he is always, always, always faithful, no matter what the situation, and that you may outdo him in a lot of areas, but you will never outwork him, and you will never be kinder than he is.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can vouch for that. Because, my husband is deceased and Doug was right there. before he passed away, and he was at a very sick period of time in his life. Doug was there to take him out, hang out with him like boys do,
Yeah.
and his kindness was unbelievable.
And not with pity, with
no,
a
by
sense
no
of
means.
enthusiasm
Yes.
and joy and just in a loving and nurturing way.
Yes, I can definitely agree with that.
And that's kind of rare these days. Kind of rare.
That is for sure. If you knew without a doubt that you would not fail, what would you do?
Probably exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
Exactly what I'm doing. I read somewhere the other day that you're going to be embarrassed. Get over it. Embarrassment is the cost of success. If you're not willing to be embarrassed, get out of the game because you're never going to master it.
Yeah.
So, I don't embarrass anymore. I just don't. And
do you think that has something to do with our age, the big age of being where we are now, or did that happen earlier?
I think that, absolutely with maturity. However, I was fortunate in my household that my parents told me lots of the stories of their young life and the things that they went through in being young in the era of Jim Crow in America. My dad is a first generation immigrant from Jamaica. So that's another whole set of obstacles and so forth. And so those things kind of propelled me in my younger life. But as I got older and began to see how they applied directly to me, I got more courageous. And now I kind of feel like I'm fearless.
Okay. Well, then maybe you've answered this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. When you think of the future, what brings excitement to your heart?
Oh, wow. Just new experiences.
Okay.
And the people I haven't met yet, the food I haven't eaten yet, the places I haven't seen yet, the dances I haven't done yet. It really every day is exciting to me because we are also in an age group where, as I say, the herd is thinning out.
That's true.
We read a statistic today.
Yeah. Please tell the people the statistic, because this was something that I did not know.
Okay, so 8 out of 100 people who are 65 or older that's the survival rate. Out of people who are 65 or older, 8 out of the 100 are still living. So that's kind of
scary.
Well, and it is sobering. It's sobering.
Yeah.
That, so many people are not here, and you were blessed to make it here. What are you doing with it?
Exactly. And that is food for thought. What are you doing with it when 8 out of 100
are still
here? That's right. What are we doing with our time? What are we doing with, everything that's about us?
Yes.
Yeah, that's something to think about. That is some food for thought. What's next for you?
Next for me, I'm in a season of minding self.
Okay.
Spending more time being a better best friend to myself, because so many of my earlier years that kind of moved way to the bottom of the list because there were other people that were prioritized for that. Yeah. And I'm very blessed to say that I have incredible children. They are wonderful people. I would like to be with them even if I wasn't related to them because they're pretty cool.
That's pretty nice to be able to say about
cool people.
I feel that way about my family. My family's pretty cool as well. And I would love to hang out with them.
And so when you have blessings like that, I mean, you just, you have to know that every day that you get is a gift.
That is so true. That is so true. Every day that you're given is truly a gift.
A gift.
And, we have to think about what we're going to do with that day every single day, because we didn't have to have it.
Yeah.
Yep, we did not have
That
to
other
have
92 is not here. Think about it.
Good point.
Yes.
Good point. 92 people didn't wake up this morning,
Right.
but 8 did.
Yes, and I'm glad to be in that.
I'm glad to be in that number.
That number, yes.
Yes, yes. What practical way would you encourage people to go after their dream now that they have reached the big age? And what I call the big age is 65 and over.
I think that what I would say is, at this point, what are you waiting for?
That's right.
What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting
and
for?
We live in a society where we're always setting a timeline for something. And when I get my next promotion, and when I get married, and when the kids leave home, and when I get the degree, and when I, what about right now?
That's right.
Because for a lot of people, their next big mile marker is on to the next incarnation. So
That's
between
true.
here and there, what do you have to lose?
That's right.
Try everything.
Yeah,
Try
I
everything.
agree. I totally agree. I mean, there's some things I've tried that I probably shouldn't have, but some friends and I went on a cruise, and I tried going from a slide.
The water slide?
The water slide. Now, the thing about the water slide, it wasn't so much the slide, it was the fact that I couldn't swim. But I tried it because they did it.
Okay.
They did it. And thank God I'm still here. I'm still here. And you know that saying, God takes care of babies and fools. And so, but he kept me here for whatever reason.
Okay.
And I praise him for that. So I am so excited that you came to this day and spent time with us and shared your background and shared your life with us. Cassandra, it is just my joy to have you here today.
I am really honored to be here, Rita, and I'm honored to be your friend of these so many years. I love you.
I love you more. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you so very much. And one of the things that I want you to know is that we're gonna be doing some new things that's going to be coming up on Ageless Ambitions. I did mention at one point that we're going to be talking about good health. We're going to be talking about fashion. We're going to be talking about just a lot of different subjects. So if you know someone doing some great things that we need to know about, that will be encouraging to people, that will be uplifting and motivating, please, please, please let me know about that person. All you have to do, first of all, I want you all to subscribe. And thank each and every one of you who have already subscribed to Ageless Ambitions. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And those of you who are going to subscribe, thank you, thank you, thank you. And please tell people about it, share, comment, and I promise you from the comments, I'll get back to you because I'm interested in what you think. And if you know someone, please let me know so that I can get in touch with them and have them on Ageless Ambitions. Thank you all for tuning in. And I want you to go out, do something special for yourself, do something motivating for someone else. And remember, what you are is your gift from God, and what you become is your gift back to Him. Enjoy your life, have a blast, and continue to know that you're loved.